What is up, all your wonderful beings? It's Gage here, and today I have a very special guest. Someone that was in the military, and which part of the journey led him to this magical place.
Hey,
Welcome.
hey, how's it going? Thank you, Gage. How are you today?
Honestly, after we did that breath work,
Yeah,
I just felt very present.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, interesting what just being present in the moment could change, how it could change your perspective, right?
Yeah.
How you felt before and how we feel now, it's completely different and but very calm and peaceful at the same time.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about the breath work, like when I used to do meditations, I
Yeah,
could always notice time. But
yeah,
when I do breath work, I'm more like in the moment.
yeah.
Time doesn't exist.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those like interesting transcendental states that takes this concept of time away, and then you're able to tap into the source of like creativity and um, innovation and imagination, I think, and then we could come up with interesting art, interesting music, interesting ideas, interesting way of new perspective, new way of thinking that we never thought could even exist in this universe. Yeah,
Yeah, and as we become more adults, we kind of lose that creativity, like when we had as kids, because we had all these expectations. You got to be realistic
yeah,
and be adult, and then you kind of lose that creativity that you once had. Because as a child, you
yeah.
don't have a childlike mind, that curiosity you kind of lose
Uh,
over time a little
I
bit.
don't think you could. I don't think you could ever lose it. In my opinion, I think we get out of touch with that childlike curiosity, and I think there are still methods to shed all our layers of our beliefs of who we really are, and we aren't that person, and then we could really go back and find our inner child within us all and show him compassion and love that he really needs and connect with him in the present and all those things in between that can happen. It's just a part of the journey, but just makes a universe of our existence when we have so many moments in our lives that happen, like 30,000 actions we take per day, like it's so many moments in a day. Every millisecond is a moment of its own, and the collective moments we decided as humans talking about time measure. This is the amount of moments, and we'll give it like a frequency of how it happens. But I think we could always go and go above that and shed all the layers. And this is a beautiful place for this, for sure, where we could shed all the layers of all the beliefs that were put on us, all the externities, and just kind of come back to our childlike curiosity and come back to our true nature of light and look at yeah, see how we built our lives from the outside perspective, looking in instead of being in it all the time. Taking that that shedding that skin off, taking that mask off, and just being like, okay, this is the space and time where I'm gonna worship this action with love, and I'm gonna go ahead and create something beautiful, you know. And then whatever it is, if it's coming from your heart, your true nature, your true high self, spirit, like your soul, the chi, whatever you call it, the source, the one, the Atman,
Yeah.
and it just it comes out from the quantum field of all possibilities in that way.
And I think the force kind of brings that. Like when I came here, like I was not in a good state of mind, and I wasn't sure what to really expect here, because I was kind of getting more into my spirituality, because it's something that I dabbled into, but I never really went too deep into. And when I came here, like the first day, it kind of took me time. I was like, whoa. No, I never felt like the love just felt so strong. They didn't even know me, they just literally met me, but I just felt loved, and I felt like I was in the family. I was part of a family already. And this place, it brings out your true authentic self. I was in and when you're in, I call the 3D world, you kind of get stuck in a hamster wheel. Work, work, work. Don't think. Being all on your mind, it just you're never present. You're always thinking about what the future, what vacations, retirement, all of these things. You're never really like, man, this moment here, it's beautiful. Looking around the trees and the flowers,
Yeah, right.
and just kind of letting your curiosity kind of exploring that.
Yeah, but why do you think we also disconnect from the reality and have that same kind of childlike curiosity as we do here in the forest, back in the real world? Now that is called true integration. So we could bring that curiosity to anything we do, really, in the real world as well. Nobody says we can't,
No.
you know. And then we could do any action we do, we could do it with purpose and love, And I feel like if it doesn't vibe with you, in my opinion, I mean, I'm 36, but I feel like I've tried many different things, and it's not everybody's path, and I don't recommend it for everybody. It's not an easy one, but it's one you could go through at times and face challenges and face failures, but come out at it as a better human being and come out stronger and bigger and show up and be present for yourself and for people around you, for your family, and first of all, if you can't show up for anybody if you don't show up for yourself. That's the most important thing that my journey taught me. If I don't take care of myself, like if I am operating to the point of failure in that everyday world and I can't show up for myself, then if I'm not being healthy for myself, in my body and spirit as a whole, then I am not doing what I'm here to do, which is also the dance of life, and live and love and create and just enjoy being a human being.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think we kind of lose that, but we're kind of always on the move and kind of always looking forward instead of being here. Like when I came here, I used to think about always the big picture, this, that, and I would always work. I would try to find quicker ways to do that, but it's like maybe it's not always getting to the destination. Maybe it's just during the journey, just going there.
Yeah.
Because when you're there, you're like,
And
man, this is it.
And be grateful for the journey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you get there, it's like, this is it. What's else?
What
It's
else?
the journey.
It never ends.
It doesn't.
There is no like you go put some goals, you achieve the goals, and what's next? You go for the next one, then what's next? You go for the next one, and but it's a fun game that we all like to play, And then there's also the external maze in the game of the reality, that we navigate, and that's not an easy one either. And then there's the reality, the basic things: food, water, shelter, relationships, and then there's reality of financial security as well for everybody, and yeah.
I'm curious, if you're comfortable with it, how did breath work kind of help you? Because I know, the military can be very hard to transition.
Sometimes I have some bad habits. I smoke, and I quit. I smoke, but it helps me realize that I don't need to, and I need to enjoy my breath because it is a spirit, and it's a blessing that I take each one of those breaths and each one of these moments is back and forth, coming in and out, and it puts me like right now, like we're more in the present.
Yeah. Yeah, breathing. I think we kind of take that advantage. We take it for granted. Breathing, like how important it really is.
Yeah.
and how powerful it can be if
Or
it's
it could
used
be
the
a
right way.
medicine. We could use it as medicine. Yeah, yeah. People do in many cultures around the world. The shamans believe that there are certain breathing rhythms and techniques that could heal every part of our bodies as well. And I believe in belief and faith, and you could achieve results that are just miracles in a way, and see those miracles happening all around you, and people are able to do that and heal themselves.
Yeah, and even like psychedelics and all that stuff. And I think in society we kind of look at that like, man, people grow their mind goes crazy. Like from what I've seen and heard, psychedelics that's not how it works really. I
No.
think it gets a false perception. I
Yeah.
Mushrooms is not a drug. It's a medicine, I believe, for the mind and for your soul. Because one
So
thing with
let's
mushrooms,
rewind to the psychedelic journey. Um, how did you find, stumbled your way onto the psychedelic journey? What was your, how was your first experience?
my first experience. It started very small. I never really started with a lot, and I had people close to me to kind of guide me through that experience. And one thing that it's really important to have in your environment and the people around you are very important. Because I think sometimes we think of mushrooms like, oh, man, this is gonna be a great time, but no, it's your intention of the mushrooms. My intentions at first, is someone close to me kind of explained to me it's not something that it's not a drug to have fun or anything like that. It's something that it's medicine and it's a guide. It's a teacher, and mushrooms help. I growing up with autism,
Yeah.
I held a lot of pain inside.
Yeah.
Like
I'm sure I would not, I could not tell you had autism at all. I wouldn't be able to think or tell that at all. I still don't really, in my mind's eye. Yeah, I feel like you're just a pretty normal human being. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Maybe actually extraordinary in that sense. Yeah.
it took a lot of work to get where I am. I had a lot. I had my brother really helped in that journey of mine. He showed me mentors like Tony Robbins, and that kind of helped me work on that. Because I had even had a hard time touching people because I feel very overloaded.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it takes a lot of work, but it's not impossible. I think we're looked down upon and judged. From my experience, that's what kind of people did. They weren't willing enough to understand. And because we're different, they didn't like that. And I believe we forget that being different is perfectly okay. Like I would what if me and you were the exact same person, we did the exact same things.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be too exciting.
Yeah.
Hey man, what you do? I did the same thing you did. It's like okay.
That's how I think the great consciousness lives through all of us, and it likes to have its unique experiences. The great mystery of things, the light, the God, what everybody calls it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it was one thing that mushrooms kind of guided me through. I had literally my first trip, like my first deep one. I had tears run down my face because I just realized how much I was holding on to and how much pain it brought me.
Yeah.
I was able to release that.
Did you see what was that you were holding on to?
It was my memories, everything. I was getting bullied. The words people would say to me, how they would look at me. I was able to kind of release all that because I held on to it. And it almost like especially during the pandemic, it was like it felt like I had like PTSD or something like that because I would just be flooded with all those memories and it felt like it haunted my mind.
Oh wow. A little technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties, man.
But we were talking about PTSD, the trauma that we get from judgment of others.
Yeah, traumatic experiences. It kind of it floods that. It happens in different aspects. It's not always like going to war and everything like that. It happens. I feel like just traumatic experiences.
Yeah, and it's not. We shouldn't judge each other's trauma, but just feel compassion, not judgment towards it. Because I felt a lot of judgment just from the society of being a veteran.
Yeah.
Absolutely, people I think judge you before they know you. You know, it's a big mistake, and people will always change. You know,
Yeah.
they say actually our cells in our body change in 7 to 10 years. So who I am today is not who I am the next moment and tomorrow, or you know. So with that belief in mind, that faith that I have, I am able to go forward and go into the unknown, go into deep waters, and try new things. But now I do it from a place of love, from the place of like ease. Because now that those things in the past that I did and things that are happened and they happen and they don't affect me. They are part of me. They're my tools. They're something I learned from, but I don't have to exist in them. They're just experiences. Just like thoughts are just thoughts. Sometimes those thoughts are not your thoughts, so they just could be put in there by others or by society. So I got to the point where I could exist in a space of being an observer of all and not going into the one extreme or the other, like not going into it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talk like what I hear about a lot. You know, like a lot of people make posts like, oh, you know, you shouldn't judge people. Don't judge a book by its cover. But we're hypocrites of what we're saying because
Because we're human, we make mistakes.
yeah,
Sometimes we're not conscious.
we're unconsciously judging people. You know.
We unconsciously judge people.
Yeah, and sometimes we're not aware of what we're doing. You know, when we see someone, how they look or something like that, we're like, man, that guy looks strange. Instead of like, you know what, maybe that's just a different way. It's a different way of wearing
Maybe
things.
he's having a bad day too.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's just how they feel. You know, one thing I learned about, you know, how people dress differently and all that, it's just how they feel. That's if they like that outfit and it makes them feel good, I think that's a great thing.
That's a good thing. If they feel good, your reality is from the inside out, not from the outside in. So if you could make yourself on the frequency of love, gratitude, and joy, you could see the world through a different lens, through a much more beautiful lens. But still, you still have a world of everything else that's happening, and that is the balance of the universe. That's the yin and yang of things, you know.
Yeah, and that's true. You know, it's just having that balance because you know I think we beat ourselves up mentally a lot. Like, oh man, why did I do that? I embarrassed myself in that party. It's like, man, just breathe through it and just know you made a mistake. We're humans. I think we kind of forget that. You know, I call it the human condition because I believe in the soul and I believe in reincarnation and.
Me too.
And I believe we're the human condition. We make mistakes, you know. And I think we beat ourselves up too much mentally. And when you spend, one thing I've heard, if you're in your head, you're dead, and that's true. You know, we mentally, people, yeah, and you're not noticing it, but everyone else is noticing. You're out of the moment. You're in your head thinking like, why did I do this? Why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
It disrupts everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's and that's what leads to depression because you're always in your head. You're not in the present moment.
Yeah, well, but I think a lot of our suffering stems from also not listening to our higher self, because we innately know what we're supposed to do, but all these other things that in our head, those are things are distractions from our true goals and purpose in life. And our suffering comes from when we don't listen to our higher selves, because we know the right thing to do. We know what the things not to do innately. But for some innately, that could be completely different perspective from ours, you know. And that's strange. Is that by design? Is that by environment? But some people from the worst environment become the best people, but some people in the worst environment let that get to them.
Yeah.
Also. you know, they go over the edge and they go crazy and they go hurt others, you know, when they instead of, because it takes hard work to get here where we are,
Yeah.
you know. We didn't just sit back and we actually worked through things. We tried, we went out, we just keep rolling that ball up that mountain that's gonna eventually keep rolling back and we're gonna just keep rolling it forward. Yeah.
And you know, when I was young, I looked at everything that happened to me as regrets. Like I wish I could have done something differently. I wish I wouldn't let that kid push me around. I look at now and I'm grateful for everything I went through because if I didn't, I would be who I am today and
No way.
be able. I wouldn't. This podcast wouldn't exist. This conversation wouldn't exist. You know, all of that happened for a reason. I believe the source, God, if you want to call him that. I believe he does things for a reason. You know, everything happens for a reason, and the more I trust that,
Yeah.
the more everything flows.
Yeah. I think everything happens for the reason of the events that started it all with whenever it started. Maybe it's a big bang, maybe it's a great mystery of things, but it all that sparked off, and now there's infinite amount of events that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Who knows? It's a great mystery.
a great mystery, and it's, you know, the one thing I've been okay with. You know, it's, we always want, like, what's on the other side of this life? What's this? You know, it's good to have questions, but sometimes we got to realize we're only human. There's some things we can't just comprehend. You know, sometimes it's just learn as much as you can and being okay with the unknown. Because the unknown has to exist, or what else is there to do if you know everything? You know, I think that's the journey of life. And honestly, I embrace the unknown a little bit more. I'm not afraid of it like I used to be.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. A childlike curiosity, having that. And you know what? I can learn something new every day, no matter what. Till the day I die.
Yeah.
In the next life.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and one thing, you know, we kind of go by age. Like I'm old. Like people in their 60s, like, man, I'm old, but it's like we don't know how old our soul is. Like me and you could be combined could be 20 or 30,000 years old.
Millions, yeah, thousands of years old. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I believe all that is just a feeling. Like really, like people that are living their best lives at 6 years old, they could probably feel like they're in their 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
So I feel like
We came out of cells.
Yeah.
Collection of cells and energy, and particles that are made of the same particles that are contained in the sun and the supernova. So technically, we could be billions of years old, or even like the beginning of Big Bang. We all like started there. So we're all brothers and sisters out there. Everybody, everyone. Everyone is different.
Never thought about it like that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe we're all brothers and sisters. I believe we all have God within us. Because there's just something very powerful, you know.
Oneness.
Yeah, oneness with each other. Because it's the energy, you know, by just touching hands, we ecstatic energy.
Mm-hmm.
There's something powerful about that. And, you know, I went through some healings. My brother's a healer, and I got some healings from him, and it was like very powerful. Kind of like even the Bible. You know, I haven't read it in years, but how they kind of explain how Jesus would heal people, that's kind of what I felt. Because I had kind of speaking about what PT's like, I had this memory play over and over again. I was playing football, and I was going to say the huddle, and I was trying to give a speech, and they kind of just discarded me. And that kind of played in my head over and over and over. It was like a nightmare.
Yeah. We can't let the actions of others affect us, but it does. We're all human.
Yeah.
So we'll learn from that, and I'm sorry that happened.
I appreciate that. You know, it was something. You know, it was hard, but it was something I had to go through to be here. And my brother did the healing on me, and the memory it was just gone.
Yeah.
You know, I was able to fully let it go.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I feel like it's interesting because we're talking about connectedness. There's a lot of people in your same shoes, and I'm sure I've been there as well, where we just feel like we're we're existing, but we're just ignored. It's like everybody exists in their little world, and a lot of people are just, yeah, it's cool, but don't don't just think that you know, and even with our close relationships, our families, we could be like as close physically as me and you, but millions of light years away with consciousness towards each other, like actually connecting as human experience, soul to soul, vision to vision, energy exchange.
Yeah, and being here really taught me about that. I thought, and I kind of reading about this, and I thought I understood it, but being here, I realized the difference between feeling it and understanding. They're not the same thing.
Yeah.
You feel in your soul, your heart.
When you feel it, it's like gnosis, Understanding could change. You should keep an open mind and be flexible, I feel like, with that.
Yeah, because anything truly is possible. All those things are like, oh, that's insane. That there's no way that's possible.
But now we're freaking flying into Mars. We got cell phones, and we have freaking drones and flying cars and shit like that. And electric jets.
Yeah, it's nuts. Back in the 1920s, people have seen there's fucking things flying in the air.
Yeah.
There's cars that only need a charger. What the hell are you talking about?
AI, internet.
Yeah, all of that. They're like back then they'd be, you're fucking nuts, man. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like I think it's our perception, because everything we think, oh, that's impossible, it outbeats it. Like even us as humans, there's people that lost their legs, but they're able to climb mountains. After their will and determination from their energy, their soul.
Absolutely.
So I think it's
and the willingness to refuse to say no. That attitude, like fuck, like whatever happened. I mean, that's not gonna affect me now. I'm gonna go ahead and kick ass.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. That's the bottom line. It's like stop making excuses for your past, for your present.
And doing yoga it kind of related that. Yoga, what I've learned is, you're holding yourself back. You can make your body as limber as possible if you really wanted to. It's just letting go your limitations.
Yeah.
Just learn how to let go.
Yeah, and also like consistency will get you there too.
Yeah, exactly.
More consistent. Yeah.
Consistency is all what it's about. It's not everyone's like, oh, it's a big event. It's not the big event. It's all the small things that led to that.
The journey is the small, tiny actions.
Yeah.
If we do them in a particular order, it will give us a particular result. Also, it's a combination of actions, and the right combinations will give you the right results.
Yeah, my good friend Kamal, he just left the force today. He told me a story about a rock. There is a big rock that's covering this road, and this town is trying to figure out what to do with it. Some are saying it'll take too long if we all work together. It would take too long. Others say it's impossible, and then there's just one person. I can do this, and he spent days and days picking at it each day, hitting it every day. And this is the last day, and they have to do something. They're like, and they're there to kind of say, "Oh, we told you so." He hits it one more time, it split in half. So it's never like the big thing that does it. It's all the little things, all consistency, working, and that kind of goes with anything, working out, reading, anything. That all leads to the big moment that you want, that you envision in your mind.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's a good way to probably close out our podcast. So,
yeah. Hey, thank you for coming, Alex.
Absolutely. Gage, it was awesome. Awesome to meet you, brother. Yeah.
It's been been, meeting you, man, and talking to you, man.
Experience,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been amazing, man.
It's been amazing, man. Always gonna remember you, bro. I hope to see you always, coming back to having different experiences. It'll be cool. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, man. And this place will always be home. We'll always be connected through this.
Yeah, we're always connected no matter what. Even sometimes to people we don't know yet.
Yeah, and this place and the people I met, they are family to me. It's because I feel that love. The time I realize it's just a feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Because people understand. I feel like we'll kind of have that gnosis of we all came from one point in time, and place, and space, from one source. And that source still lives through all of us, beyond all the discriminatory beliefs, beyond all of it, beyond all that, there is a soul. Behind all of the illusion, there is a reality, and that reality becomes so simple and clear that we could actually live in the Garden of Eden today, or we could live in hell today. Hell and heaven is a choice that you exist in. It's based on the consciousness and the consciousness you choose to exist in.
It's all up to us, and
you have to be responsible and count our blessings, and that's a beautiful way to end our podcast.
Yeah, and it's just staying grateful. I'm grateful to be here. Being here has truly changed my life. And what message you want to leave to people that are kind of transitioning to this world from the military?
Well, I feel like for any human dealing with any trauma, doesn't only have to be with the military, but the message is keep trying. There's different ways, there's different methods, and one will work for you. Not every way is for everyone, but there's ways for everyone.
And I really appreciate you guys joining this podcast. I love you guys, and I hope this brought some peace to your life and something you can learn from. Love you guys.